we are not aware of which of the 30 symptoms we are going to get.
Yes, you are correct. Then you're in church and you see the old ladies with the fan, they fanning themselves, and you're just thinking to yourself,
The church hot.
the church hot. We're doing praise and worship. You are not thinking, these ladies are having hot flashes. I wonder how many men go through this particular issue with their Viagra
Oh.
unavailable, out of stock, no date as to when they're going to get their magic
Unheard
pill.
of. That's very true.
I said it before and I will say it again.
Mhm.
I would have a period for the rest of my life if it would keep me balanced hormonally, and I would not be going through all of the symptoms that I'm going through.
Well, I beg to disagree.
Today's episode of MenoTheSis is proudly sponsored by the Black Powder Movement. The Black Powder Movement is a lifestyle and cultural brand dedicated to expanding diversity and community within snow sports, travel, outdoor recreation, and elevated cultural experiences. Through immersive events, community engagement, and curated experiences, their mission is to create exclusive spaces where culture, connection, adventure, and lifestyle intersects. The Black Powder Movement is helping redefine what outdoor recreation and winter culture looks like while creating opportunities for community, networking, wellness, and unforgettable experiences. To learn more about their movement and their upcoming experiences, visit theblackpowdermovement.com. Also, we want to spotlight an exciting upcoming experience from our sponsor, the Black Powder Movement. Join them for the Black Powder Festival taking place December 10th through the 13th of 2026 at Park City Mountain Resort in Park City, Utah. This is a 4-day winter lifestyle and cultural festival celebrating Black excellence in snow sports, travel, music, fashion, wellness, nightlife, and community, bringing together both experienced skiers and first-time adventurers in an elevated and inclusive atmosphere. Early bird tickets are on sale now through May 31st. To learn more about this experience and to reserve your spot, visit blackpowderfestival.com.
MenoTheSis, her heartbeat is the power of the world. MenoTheSis.
Hey girls, hey, welcome back to MenoTheSis. I am your host, Dr. LaShonda Bailey.
Hi, I am Veronica, your co-host.
And with this episode, the title is Preventative Care, What We Should Have Known Sooner. Now, girls, let me ask you a question. What if I told you that menopause was something we should have been learning about in our 30s?
Listen, that right there.
Now, that right there would have changed a lot, V, because in our 30s, we just living life, right? At least for me, I was living my life like it's golden, not even thinking about menopause, not even thinking about what's happening after my cycle stops, not thinking about menopause at all.
At all.
And I'm going to be honest with you. That was an ignorant moment in time for me, right?
Same.
I used to say things like, oh, when I get 30, when I get old, when I get 30, I'm 53. You know what I would do for 30 to get 30 back? So for me to say that, I wasn't actually thinking about what things would be going on in my body when I got older.
Right.
Nobody prepares you for what happens after the menstrual cycle, but they prepare you before, and they prepare you for becoming a woman. Period. That's it.
That part. So let's talk about the webinar we attended. So that was a huge turning point for me.
Yeah, that
Wouldn't
webinar
you
was
agree?
good. Yes. Yeah. Very good. Very informative. the gynecologist said something that stuck with me. And what she said was women should start learning about menopause in their 30s. And
that shifted everything for me.
Everything, because it made me realize how different this journey could have been had I been knowledgeable. I would have recognized symptoms sooner. I would have asked better questions, believe me, and I would have been more prepared probably to go into treatment earlier than I did.
Same.
Now, when I think back, I just did not recognize how important it was to educate myself in my younger years and not thinking about what the effects would be once I got older.
Right.
Once the period stopped, you don't think about that. I think women, we think about, I pray the period stop. Now I have to go through all of this, not realizing when it stops, you're going through a whole hormonal roller coaster.
It's a lot worse.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So it's like you're thinking about, oh, I wish I didn't have to go through this.
Right. That's very true.
I said it before and I will say it again. I would have a period for the rest of my life. If it would keep me balanced hormonally, and I would not be going through all of the symptoms that I'm going through.
Well, I beg to disagree.
You have.
Yes, I'm gonna keep disagreeing with that.
Yeah.
So,
you keep disagreeing, but I mean, when we were on the webinar, another thing that struck out what the gynecologist said, she said that there are 30 menopause symptoms.
Yes, and that is scary.
30 menopause symptoms.
It's scary, but
30 menopause
30 menopause system. But you know what? If you have the proper education and you learn early, you can counter some of these symptoms that it doesn't really affect you as much. I mean, only the ignorant, of course,
right,
is going to bother them.
Okay.
But if you are knowledgeable as to what's going on with your body, and like they said on the webinar, and you get this information early, hey, you know what? Menopause might be the next big thing. You never know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, because I've met some women who tell me that they have never had any symptoms.
Exactly. And what are they doing different that we are not doing? You understand?
Yes.
So again, it all comes back down to education.
Yeah. I wish I would have gotten educated earlier, because my mom, when I saw her having hot flashes, I'm looking at her watching this lady who's always cold, sweating hot, peeling her clothes off. And I just thought, okay, that's different. Not even thinking, why is mommy peeling off all her clothes? Like, why is that different for her when she's naturally cold, right?
Right.
Why is she, literally pouring down sweat? And I'm laughing because that's the ignorance that I didn't know. Then you're in church and you see the old ladies with the fan, they fanning themselves, and you're just thinking to yourself,
the church hot.
The church hot. We doing praise and worship. It's hot when you singing.
All the candles. Yep.
Thank you. The church is hot. The pastor preaching down.
Yes.
The ushers ushering. You are not thinking these ladies are having hot flashes. I'm seeing them with the fan. So that's another ignorance on my part that I just really did not pay attention. These women were in this church having symptoms, having real live hormonal changes, something going on with their bodies. And I'm young, fresh and green, not thinking it's going to happen to me. And then now look at me. And I wish I would have had
that fan.
That fan, that education, that conversation. You know what I'm saying? Because
yes, I get it.
I wish I would have known that. So for me, it's all about awareness right now. And that's the part that comes from preventative care.
Right.
Not that you're preventing anything from happening, but preventative will help you gain knowledge so you can get the treatment immediately when things start happening. So I think that's what it means for me. It means education, awareness. It means having conversations early before you get there. Okay. So next we're talking about what to talk about with your doctor when you
Correct.
are in your 30s, ladies. So you're thinking,
Correct.
I'm 30. When am I going to come in and start talking about menopause with doctors? So V, what do you think and how do you think you should lead that conversation when you're 30 years old and you're going to your doctor? What are some of the questions that they should be asking?
So first, you're going to start with like, what should I expect? What treatment is needed based on what testing that needs to be done? What's going to happen to my hormones?
Yeah.
Am I going to become a man?
Well, with a
And I
goatee.
say that jokingly.
With a goatee.
Yes, but
That's
a lot of
real.
women,
Yeah.
because of their hormonal replacement therapy that they have to do, and I know that's silly, but listen,
Baby.
PCOS is a real thing. It's real.
Goatee. 5
Ugh.
o'clock shadow is real. When you're on
Mm-mm.
testosterone treatment,
Yes,
that is one of the side effects.
exactly. And I know women who already deal with it. So can you imagine those who already have PCOS and now when they go through the change and have to take hormonal replacement therapy and increase the testosterone that's in their body, but they're already dealing with that. Can you imagine?
I can't imagine because I had PCOS.
See?
I had PCOS. I think I became aware of it when I was about 32.
Mm-hmm.
My gynecologist, I had to do some testing. I actually had to do a biopsy because I hadn't had a period. It was so irregular and I hadn't had a period in about 3 months. So she wanted to do a biopsy where she cut a little piece up, went up in my cervix and baby, that was, it was in office. She asked me if I wanted some pain medication. And when she asked me that, I was like, wait, what? For the biopsy? So it was a in office. And the way that she described it to me is I'm going to go up, go ahead like a pap, open you up, and you're going to feel like menstrual cramps. So when I'm going to clamp your cervix and then you're going to feel menstrual cramps. And when I tell you, it was bigger than menstrual cramps. So
I'm literally like shrinking
because I'm telling you the things that us women go through
is rough.
When our hormones are all over the place. I remember living in Atlanta. This was before husband, son, all that, single woman in Atlanta. I remember just the facial hair being, I felt like it was taking all my femininity away.
I'm sorry.
I was putting nair on my face. I was putting neat, and I have very sensitive skin. So I had the hyperpigmentation where I was burning my skin because I did not want a beard.
Right.
I did not want hair on my face. I did about 2 or 3 rounds of laser hair remover. And it's very hard for melanin skin with the laser because our skin, the lighter the skin, the better the treatment. And I kept going until I found a place that specialized with melanin skin, and they had a nice high-tech laser, and I got a lot of relief with it. Okay. And I will tell you, it is such a struggle. What happened for me and cleared it up is and balanced my hormones so I had a regular cycle is when I had bariatric surgery. So 30 days post-op after weight loss surgery, I had a cycle that came on in 30 days.
Wow.
And from that, 28 to 30 day regular up until this menopause situation.
Wow.
I lost weight. I felt great. The hair I was living life. And then I enter into my 50s where menopause comes. So it's kind of like reverting back somewhat because then weight gain. I gained 20 to 25 pounds in about 6 months. Now I'm hormonal, depressed. I'm struggling because the weight is on, can't move the weight. Now I am having brain fog. I have little hairs coming. And then a lot of women suffer with hair loss during menopause. I am thankful. Mother Nature beat my body down, but she ain't touched my hair. And I'm so thankful that she left me something.
I'm about to say.
She left me something. I'm plucking chin hairs,
but the
you
hair on the
got a head full
head.
of hair.
Right. Right. So
And
I
it's
mean,
beautiful, by the way.
I appreciate that, my sister, but so many women struggle just with the fact that one, you're unbalanced,
Mhm.
and then at one moment, you felt beautiful, your hair is good, your hormones are balanced, you are hot when you need to be hot, cold when you need to be cold. Now everything is meshing together. Your hair made
It's unpredictable.
it's unpredictable and it's unfair.
But what's crazy though is that word unpredictable,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
we are not aware of which of the 30 symptoms
Yeah.
we are going to get.
Yes. Yes, you are correct.
You understand?
Yep.
So preventative care, just to draw it back to this week's podcast theme, is so important because of that.
Yeah.
You understand? Doing what you're supposed to do, looking into what you're supposed to look into at as early as possible, as they stated on the webinar, in your 30s.
Yeah.
And I know no one wants to think about that.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Yes.
But do you hear
Yeah.
how
It's
many
important.
things that my co-host has gone through? Do you understand that? And
Yeah.
she herself admitted that at the age of 30, it wasn't even a thought in her mind. So being that you know this, why not start early, get the testing, ask the questions,
And
do
get
your own
educated.
research.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And make yourself very aware of what's going to happen to you at some point in your life. You just don't know exactly what. You understand? So to make your life easier.
I agree.
That's all we're saying right now.
I agree.
Okay.
Education is key, and knowledge is power. And making the best decision for yourself is going to make the difference for you.
Mhm.
It's whether you decide you want to go on hormone replacement therapy, whether you decide that holistically you want to find something, you want to treat it with herbs. Nothing is wrong with any of those treatment options. You just have to find the one that is best for you.
That's
And
correct.
after the webinar, I just started thinking, with my whole menopause movement, my whole menopause awareness, my workshop that I get invited to speak to, right? When I, speak to the ladies, and, when I do my education piece to the ladies, I started thinking to myself, I need to lower my demographics, because it was just ladies like in premenopause from 40 to 65. Now I'm dropping down my demographics to 30 because
Yeah.
it's important to educate early on.
Yep.
So you can prepare yourself. So I had an
Mhm.
aha moment, because whichever way you're going to approach it, you need to be educated
Big time.
for the approach.
Big
So
time.
access to care is the biggest option.
Mhm.
And that's why we're here today, ladies. We are here to tell you, get educated. We are here to tell you to gain knowledge.
Right.
We are here to tell you, sit down and talk to your mom, sit down and talk to your Mima, your grandma, and just have a candid conversation. How did they handle it? What symptoms did they have? Did they do anything for treatment? And I think that's important.
Listen to MenoTheSis podcast, because we are on
Absolutely.
this journey together.
We ain't gonna steal you wrong, ladies.
you know
So
what?
live experience.
I want to get a little personal. I want you to tell us about your personal experience with the care and treatment that you are going through right now.
Oh my gosh. So forgive me, ladies, if I get a little emotional, because I had an experience today. So I am on a low dose of estradiol patch, and I put one on every Monday and Thursday,
Okay.
covered by insurance. But for some reason, it's always out of stock or unavailable. So I have switched 3 different major pharmacy chains. I had to switch because for 2 months I can get it from one place, and now you're out of stock and it's unavailable. I asked the pharmacist, when is the medication coming available? We don't know. Do you have a date? No date for back order. Unavailable. I said, okay.
call the next pharmacy. So I have been yo-yoing all over the place. I get it filled 2 times at this pharmacy, changed prescription. Why that's frustrating to me. Right now, I have no more patches. I am due to put on a patch on Monday.
Oh.
I called the pharmacy this morning to fill my prescription. They took my prescription. Oh yes, it'll be ready this afternoon for pickup. I get a call this afternoon from the pharmacist herself to tell me, we don't have your medication. Medication is out of stock and it's unavailable.
What?
I said, ma'am, did you call any other of the
Right.
pharmacies around? I don't care where I have to go. I need a patch on Monday. We don't have any. I've called the surrounding stores. It's been a problem getting the patch for like the past 6 months. Fine. Let me call the other pharmacy chain that I was going to.
Right.
Same scenario, unavailable. There is no date. We don't know when we're going to have it. I started to have a meltdown. And the reason why is because when I started menopause, I did try it holistically. I wanted to battle it naturally. You read all of these studies about what happens to a woman's body when you start taking all these hormones. It leads to cancer. It leads to this. You go down a rabbit hole. So you're like, oh, don't want to take it. Don't want to do it. You're afraid. My sister passed away with endometrial cancer. When I approach treatment, I always keep her in mind because I'm like, okay, I don't want to take anything that's going to cause me to genetically, I'm connected to her to have that effect. So it took me a long time to get here where I am actually on hormone replacement therapy. And I will tell you, I feel so much better in my body. It doesn't mean that you're never going to have a hot flash. It doesn't mean you're never going to have night sweats, but I sleep better at night. I have more nights that I can go to sleep versus that I'm having hot flashes. That's a game changer for me.
That's a beautiful thing.
That's a beautiful thing, right?
Yeah.
My mood has stabilized somewhat. I take the progesterone pills so I can go to sleep. So the combination is working well for me. What upsets me, what makes me feel fearful is the fact that now my treatment is interrupted. Or there's a possibility that it's going to be interrupted. So what if I don't get my patch on Monday?
Right.
When I tell you I am fearful of what's going to happen to my body if I am not on treatment and I can't balance myself. So I have gotten to the point where the treatment is working for me. My medication has been adjusted for me and I feel good. I do not want to go back to where I've come from when I did not feel good, when I was upset, full of rage, spazzing out on my husband, isolating myself, laying in bed all day Saturday. I don't want to go back to that. I don't understand why it's so hard for women to get treatment consistently.
That right there.
And I will say this. I wonder how many men go through this particular issue with their Viagra unavailable, out of stock, no date as to when they're going to get their magic
Unheard
pill.
of, because it don't ever go out of stock.
Why is it so
And
hard
they
for women?
they stay fully stocked up because men need to be able to do what they need to do, but yet the women who bring life, okay,
Preach, sister.
with the men would
Preach
even be here without us, can't get our damn estradiol patch.
You telling me when?
Okay.
Because
She
I'm
need it.
I need a patch. I need my patch.
Yes, please.
So ladies, just say a namaste for me.
Nice little prayer.
Hopefully I am able to get it filled at another pharmacy. And then I'm going to look into mail order. One of my colleagues told me that might be a better option. So I'm just letting you ladies know that may be a better option as well. What I can say is it's frustrating.
I could imagine. I'm sorry you had to go through that. I really am. I hope it gets better.
I appreciate that. I'm hopeful that it will get better. Podcasts like this, education like this, the webinar we went to.
Yes.
That is education. That is powerful. Gaining knowledge is powerful. I feel that it will get better.
We just have to keep advocating for ourselves to get
Yep,
there.
advocate.
So I'm going to ask you, V, what's your takeaways from this segment, from the webinar, just from your journey in itself? What is your takeaway you can tell the ladies?
So my biggest takeaway is I actually have some blood work to do. I am really excited about it. Like, who's really excited about doing blood work? I am. Because I asked my doctor to recheck all of my levels because there are some night sweat symptoms that are really getting out of hand.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're really getting out of hand.
Night-
And then the other issues we spoke about on the last podcast when I talked about joint pain as being one of the symptoms. I really want to try and narrow down what is what falls into what category so I can tackle it the proper way.
Yeah.
I do take a lot of medications on a daily basis, so I'm really not too excited about having to take more. But at this point, if something is going to help me, and I know it's going to work, I'm willing to at least give it a try. So my biggest takeaway preventative care is going to the doctor, getting checked, figuring out what's going to work for me. Even if it's a trial and error process, I'm ready to start the trial, make whatever errors that have to happen so that I can find the proper solution.
I agree with that. Ladies, don't wait until your body forces you to pay attention. Be proactive, be informed, and ask questions. Advocate for yourself, because this is not just about getting older.
Nope.
This is about understanding your body and stepping into the next phase of your life
while living a quality of life.
Quality life, ladies. Now, that is the end of this segment. I want to wish you happy hormones. And thank you for hanging out with me and Veronica.
Yes.
Hey, girls, hey. Happy hormones.
MenoTheSis.
If today's episode spoke to you, encouraged you, or helped you feel a little less alone, we invite you to subscribe, follow, and share MenoTheSis with other women who may need this conversation. And don't forget to leave us a review, because every review helps us continue building this movement and reaching more women around the world.
And make sure you stay connected with us on all social media at MenoTheSis and Beating Heart Health for Women. Remember, ladies, your pause is powerful.
We'll see you next time on MenoTheSis.